So, in the aftermath of the Palisades and Eaton fires, the Blue Ribbon Commission on Climate Action and Fire Safe Recovery was formed by County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath. Now, today, the commission is releasing its final recommendations on how to rebuild Los Angeles in a resilient and sustainable way. But rebuilding isn't enough. The county needs bold, coordinated action to protect ourselves from future climate threats. The commission's report was put together by independent experts along with research from UCLA. While their final recommendations are extensive, they do highlight two main proposals. The first is creating what they're calling the Resilient Rebuilding Authority. This would be a state-backed organization designed to manage the massive rebuilding efforts both quickly and efficiently. It would also help residents with financial assistance, land acquisition, and other obstacles in the rebuilding process. Now, the second main proposal addresses long-term fire prevention by creating the LA County Fire Control District. It would have dedicated funding and would focus on proactive strategies to prevent fires. These are things like managing vegetation, improving fire detection and evacuation plans, and making homes and property more fire resistant. They say it's a critical step to ensure our region is better prepared for future fire events. Now, the commission's chair, Matt Peterson, says many of the recommendations are inspired by how other communities recovered from past disasters, and the goal is to prevent LA from reliving another mega fire event in the future.
Some of them will touch on retrofitting of vulnerable neighborhoods and homes and structures, and we'll, then we'll, in parallel, we're talking to policymakers, but then we'll really get into high gear as a commission to advocate for these recommendations to be put in place by policymakers to better help our neighborhoods, our region, rebuild more resilient, move stronger and sustainably.
And now these recommendations will be announced to the public in a press conference later this morning. That includes an outline for next steps in implementing policy. So very important. We're months from when this first happened, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And this is a blueprint for how to make it happen.
Well, you mentioned months away. It used to be that there were certain months when you talk about fire season. Now, as we know, it's pretty much year round. So the question I have for you is, how are they planning when you talk about peak season coming up here with these hot months?
Yeah.
What are they looking to do aside from just focusing on what happened in January?
Well, I think that's the importance of creating that additional fire entity, because we do need that fire prevention. When we get into these summer months, these are the peak fire months. This is because temperatures are so hot, the vegetation dries out. All you need is a spark and a windy day, and you could be fighting what we did earlier this year. But I will say the other sort of impetus and I think importance for this is because we're also seeing from the federal government cuts associated to federal agencies that assist with firefighting efforts. This is the National Weather Service, the U.S.